This is the HAPPYRUN HR-G50 electric bike, and my first ride on it felt like hopping on a mini electric motorcycle more than a bicycle. The burst off the line surprised me, the size and weight grounded me, and the style turned more heads than I expected. I came in skeptical about a fat tire moped-style e-bike, and I left that first ride with a goofy grin and a short list of things I wanted to tweak right away. Key features that stood out to me are pretty simple. It runs a 48-volt system with a 48-volt 18-amp-hour battery, so you're looking at roughly 864 watt-hours of capacity. The hub motor is labeled 750 watt nominal, but it clearly peaks much higher. From my experience, top speed on flat ground with throttle only lands around 30 to 32 miles per hour once you open up the settings on the display, and that puts this firmly in electric moped territory. The frame is heavy-duty steel with dual suspension, 20x4 fat tires, and a long bench seat. It ships with a 7-speed drivetrain, fenders, lights, turn signals, a rack on some setups, and a basic LCD that shows speed, battery bar/voltage, and trip info. The stock brakes are mechanical discs. The power delivery is what hooked me. Off the line, it surges forward with a strong, torquey feel. I can roll through city traffic with confidence, jump ahead when a light turns green, and keep pace on faster roads where a typical Class 2 e-bike would top out. It's not twitchy, but in the highest assist and full throttle, the response can be a little jumpy at walking speeds, so I feather the throttle when weaving through tight spaces. Hill performance is solid for an e-moped. Short, steep grades around my neighborhood are a non-event on throttle. Long, sustained climbs are doable, but I help with light pedaling to keep heat and strain down. Range has matched what the numbers suggest if you ride it like a small moto. With mostly throttle at 25 to 30 miles per hour, I get about 25 to 30 miles before the battery dips into the low zone. Riding slow in PAS 1 to 2, you can stretch it much farther, but that requires discipline with speed. Charging with the standard 2-amp charger takes me around 5 to 6 hours from low. Voltage sag is real on this bike. As the battery drops under half, I notice the top speed easing back a few miles per hour. Comfort is a mixed bag depending on what you expect. The fixed bench seat is plush and encourages an upright, relaxed posture. I'm 5'9", and the seat height works for cruising, but it's not great for pedaling form. If you actually want to pedal, the leg extension isn't there, and the gearing is too short at higher speeds, so I end up ghost pedaling above roughly 15 miles per hour. In my opinion, this is a throttle-first machine. Pedals are there for takeoff, assist on hills, or getting home if you drain the battery. If you're buying this to train or spin at 20+ miles per hour, you'll be disappointed. The suspension and fat tires do a nice job soaking up cracked pavement, gravel, and potholes that would rattle a rigid bike. It rides like a small, soft-tail moto on city streets. The rear shock rebounds a bit fast over big hits, and I've bottomed the fork on a deep pothole I didn't see. But for daily use, it's comfortable and forgiving. Those 4-inch tires add a ton of traction on sand and loose dirt, and I've had no trouble floating across surfaces that would wash out skinny tires. The trade-off is weight and a slower, more deliberate turn-in feel. Quick, tight corners take some body lean and patience. Braking is where I made my first upgrade. The stock mechanical discs stop the bite, but on a 90+ pound e-moped that can hit 30 miles per hour, they require a lot of hand force and they fade on long descents. After one hot downhill with a full backpack, I swapped to basic hydraulic calipers. That one change made the bike feel safer and more controllable right away, with better modulation and less hand fatigue. If you plan to ride fast or carry cargo, I'd recommend this upgrade as soon as possible. Build quality feels tough but not fancy. The frame welds are thick and confidence-inspiring. The fenders are useful but can rattle if you don't keep the bolts snug, and the cable cluster at the front looks a bit busy. The headlight is bright and wide, and the rear lighting, with brake light and signals, is actually helpful after dark. The LCD is basic, easy to read, and the menu lets you adjust speed limits and assist levels. One note for new riders: unlocking higher speeds might change how your local rules apply, so ride smart. I did hit a couple of quirks while living with it. I got an error 30 once, which usually means a communication glitch between the display and controller. Reseating the main harness connector fixed it for me. I also had a dead throttle moment after a firmware-style reset, and holding a brake lever while powering on brought it back. Shipping-wise, my rear rotor was slightly bent out of the box. I straightened it with a truing tool before the hydraulic swap. Support responded to my emails, but getting parts took patience. Community forums and groups filled in a lot of the gaps with quick fixes and settings tips. Weight is a real factor. It rides stable and planted, but lifting or carrying it is not fun. I park at ground level and bring only the battery upstairs to charge. The removable pack with a keyed lock helps a lot for daily convenience. I've added tire sealant to the tubes, tightened the rear spokes after the first 150 miles, and retorqued rack and fender bolts. After these tweaks, the bike has been low drama. It's perfect for urban cruising, beach paths, bumpy side streets, and short commutes where you want power, style, and comfort more than a cyclist's workout. From my experience, the real joy is in the effortless speed and that moto stance. If you come in expecting a bicycle, the pedaling and weight might put you off. If you treat it like a compact electric moped that happens to have pedals, it all clicks. I'd recommend this for riders who want strong throttle performance, stable handling on rough surfaces, and a distinctive look without paying premium brand prices. Budget a little for hydraulic brakes and some basic setup work, and you'll have a reliable, fun machine. If your priority is fitness riding, featherweight portability, or climbing stairs daily, this isn't the one. In my opinion, the value sits in the battery size, the motor's punch, and the full suspension comfort at this price. The finish isn't polished in every corner, and you may have to tinker. But the smiles per mile are real. I keep coming back to it for errands and joyrides because it's easy, quick, and comfy, and it handles the ugly roads where I live better than a lot of lighter bikes. In conclusion, the HAPPYRUN HR-G50 feels like an approachable entry into the e-moto style. It's not delicate, it's not trying to be a road bike, and that honesty is part of the charm. Set your expectations for a powerful, heavy cruiser. Give it the brake upgrade it deserves, and you'll get a lot of fun out of it. You can view detailed information about the HAPPYRUN HR-G50 electric bike in the comments section. Thank you for watching.